Hello, hello, my friends. Another dedicated candle review for you today. We're going to be talking about Lil Devil from Kringle Candles Halloween Part 2 collection. Specifically, this is one of the fragrances that is being offered as part of the Boo Crew collection. There are 6 fragrances, but you will see right here there are actually 7 candles to choose from because Lil Devil will be offered in 2 separate packaging options. They have this little pug puppy over here, and we have this cute little black kitten. Personally, you guys, I am team cat. I admit, I am much more of a cat person than a dog person. I don't hate dogs, but truthfully, dogs are a lot more work than cats to me, and I like the simplicity of having a cat. In fact, as I am filming this, my little ginger cat, Ruby, is sleeping a couple of feet away from me. So anyways, 2 different packaging styles. These will retail for $34. They are in the ombre packaging. Before I get any further into the review, I do want to acknowledge that these candles were sent to me in PR by Kringle, and a huge thank you to them for doing so. As always, you guys know I'm going to keep it real with you, let you guys know what my nose is smelling. In this review, I'm actually also going to be comparing this fragrance to a couple of other recent pumpkin gourmands from Kringle, so that way you might have a little bit better idea of if you really need this one or if this would suit your personal tastes. So let's go ahead and talk about this candle. So like I said, Little Devil will be available this Friday, August 15th at noon Eastern Standard Time when the Part 2 launch goes live. That will be for the Boo Crew as well as Spellbound. This is 22 ounces of 100% soy wax in the ombre style of jar. $34 will be the retail price point on this. And I am just going to say, you guys, much like I thought Pumpkinhead would be the first one to sell out from Part 1, I would not be surprised at all if this candle goes pretty quickly. So if this is one that is on your wish list, you're going to want to make sure that you don't dilly-dally around. Normally, Kringle releases are not this way, but I do feel like Halloween is an entirely different animal with the Kringle brand. So just be aware of that. Okay, fragrance notes on this Lil Devil. We have top notes of lush pumpkin, sweet nutmeg, creamy custard. Mid notes of spicy clove, cozy cinnamon, rich maple syrup. Base notes of caramelized sugar, earthy carrot, and warm vanilla. Okay, so what is my nose smelling? Truthfully, you guys, this is a really nice pumpkin gourmand fragrance. Is it something completely earth-shattering and new and nothing that I've ever smelled before? No. The funny thing is about this fragrance, what my nose detects is it's definitely a pumpkin scent, but it's not as bright as the Pumpkinhead fragrance that was just released in the Part 1 launch. Pumpkinhead, I mentioned and said that that fragrance to me was, the comparison I gave was like if Yankee Candle's Spiced Pumpkin had a baby with Homeworks' Autumn Pumpkin, that would be what would be like the child of that union, right? That one has more of like an orange note in it that I'm smelling it right here, right now. The orange note mixed with the pumpkin makes it a very bright pumpkin scent. As you burn it, the spice notes come out. Now, I will say that I feel like the spice notes that are used in this Lil Devil are the same spice accords that are used not only in Pumpkinhead, but also used in another Kringle fragrance from 2 years ago, their Autumn Spice Candle. There is definitely a cinnamon and clove aspect to the spice notes here. I do also get some nutmeg. The nutmeg is there on the top, and it's not like a cloying nutmeg. Nutmeg can be very warm and cozy, but sometimes if it's overdone, it can be a little bit too much for my nose. The cinnamon note in here, I do also like that they say that this is a cozy cinnamon because this is more of a soft cinnamon fragrance. There is a fragrance in the Spellbound line. I think it's the Inner Fire. That one is definitely more of like a red hot in your face cinnamon and clove type of fragrance. But this is definitely more of like a soft cinnamon. It's playing nicely with the pumpkin notes. This fragrance also has like a creaminess to it, and dare I say an almost vegetal quality to it, which I do think is that is coming out the longer that you burn it. And I think that's in that base note of, oddly enough, the earthy carrot note in there. It's a sweet vegetal that's coming about in there, much like you would, much like you would get, say, like in a carrot, like a warm, freshly cooked steamed type of carrot. I am smelling that in there, but make no mistake, you guys, there is still sweetness to it. The rich maple syrup, the maple, I think in here also lends some warmth to this candle. But again, it's not overly cloying maple. Now, I am somebody that maple fragrances don't bother me. However, this does not remind me of pancake syrup or anything like that. Like, I really don't detect a lot of maple in here. I think the maple probably gives some type of like earthy sweetness. It just plays really well with a lot of the other fragrances in here. It is definitely how they say that there's like a creamy custard note on the top note there. I could see that. It's not, it's kind of hard to describe this fragrance because it's not a creamy pumpkin scent by any stretch of the imagination, like a white pumpkin, say from Bath and Body Works. It's not a super creamy pumpkin, but it's not as bright, I would say, as Great Pumpkin. And then the other fragrance that I have here in front of me is last year's Cute Black Cat on a Pumpkin. Now, Cute Black Cat on a Pumpkin actually went a little bit more creamy pumpkin to me. And in that fragrance note, I'm looking at the bottom of the candle here, and it did have a white pumpkin note. It had nutmeg, vanilla, it had clove, tonka, black cinnamon. Last year's Cute Black Cat on a Pumpkin was definitely a creamy white pumpkin type of fragrance. It leaned that way a little bit more. Still not as white pumpkin-y as Bath and Body Works white pumpkin, but it was a very, very different fragrance. Could also almost lean a little bit more lactonic. This to me still smells like an orange pumpkin. This one is actually kind of like, I would say, if you like Yankee Candle's spiced pumpkin, I feel like this is, again, a cousin to it. I don't really get the elements of Homeworks' autumn pumpkin because that fragrance does have a citrus note in it. And so that's why I said that Pumpkinhead was more so a combination of spiced pumpkin with autumn pumpkin from Homeworks. Whereas this, I feel like if you are a fan of spiced pumpkin, I think that you're going to like this one. Do I think that it's done very, very well? Yes. Is it a good staple fall pumpkin gourmand fragrance? Absolutely. Very, very nice. So let's go ahead and talk about the performance of this candle. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it around here. So you can see here, we've got some pretty wild wicks going on right now. Now, in fairness, you guys, I have actually had this candle lit for about 5 hours. I did actually go and run some errands today. I did have somebody here at the house, so I'm not going to burn my house down. Somebody was keeping an eye on it, but I do want to show you the wicks. They are developing some excess carbon, which they probably would be after 5 hours. Not burning too intensely hot, but even then, I'm going to extinguish it after I get done filming this review. But you see, one of the things you see here, I've got a nice deep wax pool going on here. And I do think that that's something that might be essential to this candle's performance, because what I will say about this candle is that I can smell it instantly when I light it. When I light the candle, I walk into the room, like just a couple of minutes later, I'll be like, oh, wow, yeah, there it is. I smell that fragrance. It's definitely, it starts out with the spice and that lush pumpkin, a little bit of that nutmeg coming through. But what I did notice about this fragrance is that I feel like it takes, in order to get more projection out of it and more, or how would I put this? The strength of this candle, I would put more so at around like a 6.5, 7. It's not an overly strong candle. It's definitely more of like a background fragrance type of scent. I do find myself going nose blind to it fairly easily. Whereas like Pumpkinhead, I didn't have that happening. Like Pumpkinhead, I could be sitting in the room for 2 hours and like just take a whiff and I knew that I was smelling it. Whereas Lil Devil, I feel like I have to leave and come back into the room to keep enjoying the fragrance. I go nose blind to it pretty quickly. So anyways, part of the reason why I wanted to leave it burning today was because I kept having that experience of kind of going nose blind to it. And I was like, okay, I need to know, how is this candle throwing? And so I was like, I'm going to go and leave and then I'm going to come back. So when I came back from running my errands today, you guys, when I opened up the garage door, coming into my home, I smelled it immediately. And I actually had this candle burning in the kitchen, which is the layout of my home, the kitchen is way the furthest like point away, like what do they call it, kitty corner from the entrance from the garage. So it was throwing very well. I would say the throw on this was about an 8, but also keep in mind by the time I came home, the candle had been burning for about 3 hours. So the throw was good, but again, it wasn't like a smack me in the face pumpkin gourmand. Like it wasn't overly strong. It was definitely noticeable, definitely detectable. People are going to walk into your house. I walked into my house and I smelled it, but it wasn't smacking me in the face. So I would say the strength is about a 6.5 to 7 in terms of the strength of the fragrance, but the throw was actually pretty good. Just be aware that for me personally, I feel like I do go nose blind to it. Overall, you guys, could I see myself purchasing another one of these? Yeah, I actually might, because I do really like this fragrance. I did purchase 2 pumpkin heads during the part 1 release. I do think that if you were able to get your hands on Pumpkinhead, that this will complement it really well. But this one is if you didn't like the idea of the orange or the citrus note that was in Pumpkinhead, then I think that this one's going to be a little bit more in your alley. And fear not if last year's cute black cat on a pumpkin was a little bit too much white pumpkin for you. This is a very different fragrance. So overall, you guys, if you don't get your hands on this one, I won't say that like you've missed out on a completely unique pumpkin fragrance, just because I do feel like this bears a lot of similarities to Yankees spiced pumpkin, but the packaging is absolutely adorable. So those are my complete thoughts on this candle. Let me know in the comment section down below if this one is on your wish list. Are you team cat? Are you team puppy? Are you wanting one of each? I would be curious to know. Please hit thumbs up if you found this review helpful. And don't forget that when you go to shop on Friday, I do have an affiliate discount code with Kringle. It is Katie15. It will save you 15% off of your purchase with them. It is eligible for a commission, so please only use that if comfortable. And that's not just my discount code, by the way, you guys. That's all of the Kringle ambassadors. All of our codes are commissionable. So I do always want to put that out there. But anyways, you guys, consider subscribing to my channel if you are new and you like candle reviews. I will be reviewing all 12 of these fragrances for you prior to the launch. So if you don't want to miss out, make sure that you are subscribed to my channel. I do want to say thank you so very much for spending your time here with me today. And until my next one, I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day. Bye.